For tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am betting on black tonight.
Lovely. You look great.
Welcome to Code Black Facts, where we talk about all things black to include news and viral videos, mental health, self-love, self-care, self-development, black women issues, crime stories, and black history. If you are interested in any of these topics, please subscribe to my channel, like, share, and don't forget to comment below. Thank you.
They say it's a black thing, run deep in the roots. Blacker the berry, baby, the sweeter the juice.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Code Black Facts. Thank you guys for tuning in. So I wanted to come to you guys today because I did find this video on Facebook of a black man, who found a young black girl inside of an abandoned building. She was handcuffed and chained to a wall in this abandoned building. And according to this particular video, the young girl stated that she had been in that building for a few weeks at least. Now, this is a black neighborhood, a black area in the Chicago area. And for me, this video was triggering because obviously I'm a black woman. I care about black women. I care about black girls. I care about the black community, black children, the black family, all of that, black men. And so, it was so many different thoughts running through my mind because we constantly hear, defund the police. We constantly hear protect black women, girls, children. We constantly hear black women are unprotected. We are the most unprotected. We constantly hear, the death rates of black women and the things that black women and young girls deal with on a daily basis, the things that black men deal with. So we're constantly hearing all of these different things. And then we run across something like this. And, I was thinking about like the neighborhood. It's like, I mean, can we really afford to stay in some of these neighborhoods, these impoverished neighborhoods, the hoods, the ghettos? Can we really afford to stay in these areas? Are our children, girls, women really protected in these areas? And I would say no. I would say no. Not just on walking down the street, they're unprotected, but some of the food in these areas is trash, the schools, the education, the support systems in these areas. I mean, it's just not good. And these areas are target areas. They're hotbeds for degenerate men and women. But since this has to do with a man who did this, we're going to talk about the men in these areas. These are hotbed areas for, people to target because they know that they can pull any one of these black girls, or black children off the streets, kidnap them, do God only knows what to them, and potentially get away with it. And this is why I tell even single mothers, women who have children, who are truly doing it all alone. There's no man whatsoever around or in the picture. Your father, your brothers, your uncles are not coming around often to help you, to protect you, things like that. You really have to be aware of the target that is on your back, because you do have a lot of men, even in women, but we're talking about the men. You have a lot of men who will target you for your young daughters, for your young children, or even your young boys. They will target you because in some cases, not all, in some cases, some of these dudes can have you fall in love with them, be messing with your kid, and know that if your kid come to you and tell you that they're being messed with or molested or raped or anything, that you won't believe it. They'll come to you and cause confusion between you and your children. It could be you and your daughters or you and your sons, only to manipulate you into not trusting what they say, to manipulate you into kicking them out potentially, to manipulate you into not trusting what your children may come to you and tell you. I've seen this happen time and time again. And so I tell women who are single mothers, who are truly doing it all by yourself, be very, very aware that you could potentially be be a target for a man who's literally coming for your children, your daughters or your sons. And don't think for one second that, oh, well, I'll have all sons. This man is going to be okay. There are a lot of that too. They're out here getting with, it don't even matter the gender. So let's jump into this video real quick. And I'm, like I said, this is going to be a reaction video. So I'm going to be starting and stopping, starting and stopping. I'm going to be addressing certain things and bringing up certain things that I think we need to talk about. So let me just get started.
All that shit was just ordered up. So I was walking down the street and I hear somebody beating on the window. The man that put the girl inside the house. I called the police. He must have went through the basement. So I'm on 119th to Agustin. And we walking past and hear the lady beating on the window. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We finna find out what's going on. And she let dude ass get up out of here.
Now, this is in Chicago, you guys.
So I'm on 119. It's a lady trapped in this house. I don't know if she's been kidnapped. I don't know how long she's been in here, but she inside the house. The motherfucker just left him out of here. He got a girl kidnapped in here. She beating on the window. I'm like, man, me and well, we didn't. She been beaten for weeks. Come on, man. Dude ass just went right there. Cause we didn't know the little girls next door say they been hearing it, but they didn't know.
He heard you all the way down the street talking about how long you been in here? How old are you? I said no.
I did call the police.
So now I want you guys to pay very close attention to what's going on in the surroundings. Now you're going to hear and see all the black people in the neighborhood coming out. So we know that this is a black neighborhood, okay? We're going to hear how many of these homes and buildings are abandoned in this neighborhood. We're going to hear about that. We're going to hear about how they need to fix up the area and fix up these homes so that things like this can't and won't happen. And for me, when I hear, people say things like that, who is the we? Is the we the community? Because if you're talking about the community, clearly the community cannot afford to do that. Because I would think that if the community could afford to purchase all these abandoned buildings and homes in this area, they would have done it. So I am going to think that the we is them saying, white people, we need your help. White people, come help us. Celebrities, we need your help. Come help us. And this is a common thing that we hear from the black community, where we're calling on the government, aka the white man. We're calling on celebrities that have money, right? We're calling on them to come and help us. And, at this particular point, yes, there may be some projects where that is needed but to be honest with you guys, how about, calling on the men and the women in these areas, say, creating maybe some type of clubs or some type of whatever where, people are watchful of this, right? Calling on the men to be more protective in this area, where if you see somebody in the area that don't look right, that you ain't never seen, maybe you approach them and start a conversation, even if he looks like you. Because we see right now that the people of the area don't have the money. And anybody who comes into the comment section talking about, oh, well, all we need is, money. No, because you can have all the money in the world. You can put it into an area. But if the mindset and the belief system about each other, about from one Black person to the next isn't right, the same thing is going to be perpetuated. The same violence, the same I don't give a shit about the next person, that same thing is going to be perpetuated. It doesn't even matter that the people look like you in the area. It's a mindset. So that has to be also addressed as well. You know, just throwing a bunch of money into something is not going to always fix the problem. Will it fix some problems? Absolutely it will. I mean, come on, who doesn't need money? Who doesn't need money? Even people who have a lot of money still need money. Who doesn't need money? But money doesn't always fix the problem. And in this particular situation, you're going to need money, and you're also going to need a mindset. You're also going to need to be teaching and empowering the people with information, with, self-awareness, with, values, morals, even hygiene, even. I mean, it's so much. Let's continue.
Police right there. I'm sitting right here waiting for. They gonna come out with them. This is why we need to buy all these abandoned properties. Just go in there and take these bitches. Go in there and fix them up. When a motherfucker come talking, fuck what you talking about. It's been abandoned. They using them for kidnapping. Fuck that. Come talk to the bank. Let the bank come talk to us. Let the bank come talk to us. That's how we do that. Let the bank come talk to us. The kids say they've been hearing it for weeks. But me and him was down there talking. I'm like, hold on, man. Somebody beating on the window up there. Man, I heard we was right there where he cutting the grass at. He had a blue jean coat. And I asked her. I was like, did the dude with the blue jean coat just leave out? No, I was telling the police.
Ain't nobody else that walked. If he didn't hit,
he saw us standing right here.
It don't mean nothing. True. If he didn't hit none of that commotion, like
man, fuck that. Monday we coming right here to take them boards off, put some doors up. This our problem. You finna do who? Everything all right? All right. I don't know. Now he don't want to tell me. Don't worry about it. I'm live. Don't call my phone. I'm not answering. If she...
That is sad as fuck.
How long? And she say she been in there for a minute.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't worry about it. See, this is what I'm saying.
he'll be back trying to go back to his right now. If he ain't hear none of this emotion or see none of this, he'll be back trying to go back into it. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question, you guys. So are these areas safe? Should we be telling Black people to move into these areas and buy up the property there with the same mindset? Should we be telling our people to do that? Because you hear people saying that as well. I mean, what should we do? I mean, I have my own ideas about what, I personally am doing or would do. Because I can tell you right now, I don't stay in the hood. I don't stay in the ghetto. I don't stay in those areas because number one, I choose not to, but number two, they're unsafe. I'm a single woman out here. Yes, I have brothers. My father passed away some years ago. So I have a bunch of brothers. We all stay in different areas, some of us in different states. And my brothers have their own families and wives and children to protect. So even that, to a certain extent, is limited because I can't call my brothers for everything. Of course, when I mostly need them, I can. And I have. And I will continue to. But I can't call my brother over every night to, make sure I get in the house. I can't call my brother over every night to help me go to the grocery store when I need to go run out to the grocery store. I can't do that. So should we really be telling people to move into these areas? Because these areas are not always the safest areas. And let me tell you something. All these so-called black leaders, I can guarantee you they're not in the hoods either. I can guarantee you that they're in gated communities. I can guarantee you that they're not only in gated communities, but they're in non-black gated communities. I can assure you that. I can assure you that. These black politicians, them too, anybody who is black and consider themselves a leader and they're making a certain kind of money a year, I can guarantee you they are not in these areas. Their children are not walking these streets. So y'all don't need to get caught up in what these people out here saying. When they talking about, you know, we can protect our own neighborhoods. Can we really? When you see stuff like this, can we really? Can we really? Because I've actually posted and asked men if whose responsibility was it to protect the women and children. And you know what I got overwhelmingly? They told me that it was not their individual responsibility. It was whatever the woman or child, it was the child's dad, mom, and somebody else's responsibility. It was not theirs. That if you know, they are not responsible for a woman or child that they do not know. That's what I was told. That's scary. That's scary. Because I guarantee you, when you go into these non-black areas, these men and women, they are called, many of us call them Karens. Oh, they call them the police. They don't care who you in the area for, why you in the area. They're gonna call the police. If you don't look familiar, if what you doing in the area, you know, don't look right to them, oh, you can guarantee that they calling the police. They're calling somebody. Many of them, some of the women, they'll even call out their husbands. And in some cases, some of the black men who have went into these areas and black women have been killed. Okay. But us, it's like, oh, well, you know, I'm not responsible. That's her dad's responsibility. That's her whatever man she with. And, you know, they play these games with, oh, well, you know, I'm not going to come over there and protect the woman who is fussing and screaming about a ketchup being left out of her Whataburger bag. See, that's extremism. Like, that's people who are intentionally gaslighting the hell out of the black community so that they don't have to. Nobody is talking about protect some mess like that, and they know it. That's they are intentionally being what they call playing the you know, intellectual game, where they want to play with you intellectually. They know exactly what they're doing when they say and bring those type of things up as examples. Protect the black community, protect black women and children mean that when you see a dude slapping up a woman because she told him no, she doesn't want to talk to him, or she said no, I don't want to get in the car with you, or she said no, please take me home, or she said no, I'm too young, I'm just on my way to school. That means protect those girls and women and children. That's what that means.
They don't know. Come on, man. Oh.
She's handcuffed and chained to a wall. Just stay back a little bit.
Yeah.
And just kind of, we're gonna see if the guy kind of wanders back over.
I told y'all where he was.
I'm more worried.
I know. Don't worry about it. I got you. Don't worry about it, because I'm finna go. No, to get her. This is my house from now on. This finna be my house. Bank, come holler at me. Fuck that, because that's what they doing. They taking these houses, putting these girls inside these houses. I just located a girl inside this house. The police say she chained up, and the kids say they've been hearing this noise for weeks. But don't worry about it. This is why I'm telling y'all, all these abandoned houses around our house, we need to go in there, fix them up, fuck what the bank talking about. Man, we do it. Yeah. I started to walk down Stewart though. I don't need no award. No, I don't. I'm sorry. All I need to do is get this property. So can't nobody else.
So let me address that. The young lady in the background is saying you are a hero, you need an award. Now, this man is by definition a hero, absolutely. And the reason why he probably said he didn't need an award, because this is some man shit. This is what men do. This is what men do. See, this is called manhood. See, when you see a woman, a helpless woman who is asking for help and in need because she is handcuffed and have been kidnapped, that's man shit. That's what a man does. A man ain't, well, when we finish, do you think you can go home with me? A man ain't, well, I don't know you. You ain't none of my kin, so I can't help you. That's not what men do. That's what cowards do. That's what cowards do. And you got a lot of cowards these days so that they can get out of being a man and truly protecting the neighborhoods that they stay in, the neighborhoods that they live in with these women and these children, so that they can get out of that. They say, oh, well, it's some random chick, so that's not my responsibility. Those are not men. This is a man. Okay, that comment that he made, that's on some man shit. That's on some, no, I don't need an award because this is what I'm supposed to do. Because this is the neighborhood that I too stay in. Because this is the neighborhood that I too walk these same streets in. Because this is the neighborhood where I'm like, none of that shit ain't finna fly in this neighborhood because I'm here. Because I'm the man that's here. That's man shit. And I think women, and don't get me wrong, I can attest to this because I too has experienced this where we feel like, oh, well, we got it. We got it. We good. We can take care of it. No, let the men take care of it. That's what men do. Because I can tell you, the average woman can't fight off the average man. Okay, the average woman, especially if you're a young girl, you petite, you smaller, whatever, you can't fight off no man. And a lot of times these men are catching you off guard. So it's not like you got all the time in the world to react and pull out your weapon or whatever like that. If you can, great. And many of us, we're not even trained. And this is another thing. I tell women, go and get training. Go get you some kind of self-defense training. Okay, yeah, we know you can fight. Yeah, you be fighting at the club. Yeah, you be doing all of this and that and the third. You think you do until you wake up and find yourself in an abandoned house. You better go learn how to properly protect yourself if you get into a situation where somebody then came up behind you and busted you across your head and lay you out and drag you somewhere. You better go try to get you some knowledge on how to talk yourself up out of that situation. You better go try to get you some knowledge on how to, even if you got to manipulate yourself up out of that situation, whatever you have to do. Self-defense courses, if you're a woman and you're not a fighter, like myself, I don't fight. I didn't grow up fighting. That's not me. I'm a girly girl. Of course I protect myself, all of that kind of stuff. Absolutely I will, but I didn't grow up fighting in the streets, in the hoods. That's not me. So I suggest for women like that, even women who did grow up fighting, go and spend you $25, $30, even $50, whatever, because what is that? That's like getting your nails done these days. That's literally the cost of getting your nails done. Getting your nails done. That's the cost of that. Go get you some, for men too. All men can't necessarily fight. But more specifically for women, go and take you some courses, some classes on, how to defend yourself if you got into something, a bind, how to be aware, things to look for. If you have any law enforcement friends, they have access and resources to some of these things. I know in my area, you have the police department. I stay in a military area as well. They have certain events where people who are from the police department, not police, but like law enforcement, because it could be police, it could be whatever, law enforcement, they from prior military backgrounds or even the military, where they do host these events and these classes for people who want to learn how they can protect themselves, self-defense stuff. And then of course, if you want to learn how to do the self-defense with weapons and guns and knives and sprays and all kinds of stuff, they have all of that. I have taken a few myself, so I know that.
Don't hear no more. That's what it is. That's what it is. I need this property. I need the money, and I need to fix up every abandoned house around here so they won't be able to do it no more. That's what I need. I need somebody to give me some money so I can fix these apartments and these houses up and put them in it so can't nobody get chained up and be in an abandoned house for weeks. That's what the fuck I need. That's what I need. What if he'd have grabbed one of these little babies? What if he'd have grabbed one of these little babies? Man, I started to go down Stewart. I started to go to Stewart and go straight to the bus stop. If I wouldn't have did that, she'd have probably still been in here. Move your car, fam. They going to the wrong motherfucking place. Look at them. They don't even know where they going. The nigga walked off. Look. Man, he kidnapped the girl, man. He chained her up. She been in there. For how long? I don't know for how long. The kids say they been hearing it for weeks. Damn. That's her. What the fuck? Dude, man, I should have went and chased this motherfucking ass. Because I'm trying to tell the police where she at. I know, I should have chased this motherfucking ass. But she know how he look. So I'm walking past. Me and him, we started talking. You recording? I'm recording? I'm cool. Don't record? All right. I'm walking past. I stopped to talk to him. Next thing you know, we get to hear beating on the window. This young man right here. He stay right there. And I get to talking to him. And next thing you know, we hear him beating. And she like, help.
Tell me what this guy looks like.
Oh, man, it was too far. All I know is he had on a blue jean jacket.
Tell me what he's got on.
He's got on a blue jean corduroy jacket. I don't know what type of pants. I'm going to say he's about 5'8", 5'7".
Hold on. Blue jean jacket.
Blue jean jacket. Black pants. I'm going to say he's about 5'8", 5'9", because I'm 6 feet. And he was just walking down Stewart.
Which way?
That way. He was standing on the corner when I flagged y'all down, and then he went walking towards he went north.
North, and he was 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, about 5'8", 5'9". Couldn't see that far.
Dark skin, light skin?
Dark skin, dark brown.
Now, I want to point this out. Did y'all notice that the police didn't ask this man what race the man was? He asked him if the man was dark skinned or light skinned. So basically, what does that tell you, you guys? Like, they knew that he was a black person. And I don't know if they knew it because of the area, because this is clearly a black area. You see all the black people out. You see the people outside in the house next door. Later on in the video, you're going to see some of the other black people, talking about how long the house was abandoned. I mean, this is a black area, a black neighborhood, clearly. But I did notice, because I'm like, okay, what race is this person? Like, what race is he gonna, because he's given a description, and when you give a description, race is one of the first things you say. It was a black person, they had on this, they had on that, they had on this. He didn't say that. The police asked him, well, was he light skinned or dark skinned? We know light skinned, dark skinned, we use that. This was a black man. So it's almost like they just kind of just knew. I just wanted to point that out. I wanted to point that out because to me that don't sit well with me. That don't sit well with me. Because again, when it came to like kidnappings and things like this type of stuff, back in the day, this was never seen as a quote unquote black thing. Like this was something you seen somewhere else. If y'all catch my drift, right? When you would see back in the day, when you would see some people, see the news and somebody didn't, even some of the funniest comedics have, made jokes about like, oh, it's certain things I hear on the news and I know if it's a black person or a non-black person, and people just bust out laughing. Well, that's how it used to be. Nowadays, you don't know. You don't know. I mean, there's maybe a small fraction of things where it's still overly dominated by non-black people, but for the most part, you're finding more and more times where, and we're talking about not necessarily the total amount, because I know sometimes when we talk about statistics, people get caught up in the total amount. And when you're talking about the black community compared to the non-black community, you're talking about a very small portion right here in the States. We make up I think only 13 or 14% of the population. That's small. So when you start talking about every 1 out of 5, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And then when you compare that to like the non-black people, you may say, oh, well, the overall total isn't that much. Well, hell, the rate is different. Because in the black community, it may be every 1 out of 5. In another community, it may be every 1 out of 15. Because it's more of them. It's a bigger population of them. So, it's not happening as much. But I think we need to start looking at the rate at which it's happening. Because if you look at the overall total, yeah, that's a lot of people. But then a lot of times what we tend to do is compare the overall total to the overall total of other groups. And because it's more of them, our total, it seems like it's a lot lower. So that's why you have to look at the rate in which it happens. I just wanted to point that out because I'm starting to see more and more the rate in which violence happens from one black person to the next is a lot. It's a lot. The rate in which black women and children are harmed or taken out is a lot. But when you compare it to another group, it's like, oh, well, they do it more. Who cares about what they do? We're talking about the black community. We're talking about what's going on over here. I really don't like, and I used to do that too, right? Because I used to try to make a point, but then it dawned on me, who cares? I'm concerned about the black community and what we got going on over here, because I have to walk around with this black skin as a black woman. I have to walk around, all over wherever I go as a black woman. I care about what, the black community. I care about black images. I care about the violence and the crime that go on in the black community because I know that that's not too far from my doorstep, even if I stay on the other side of town. It's not too far.
Yes. I don't know what color. I don't know. I was too busy trying to tell you to go get them. Right. Let's you know how later on you come back and then stuff pop up. Let's do that. But as of right now,
that's fine. I'm just gonna take your name.
Antoine, A-N-T.
Hold on a second.
So I gotta blank this out because he's gonna give out his address.
Abandoned houses and fix them up. All right, I got you. I'm on me. Help me. That's all I'm saying. Help me get these abandoned houses for one of our babies being that motherfucker. There's too many abandoned houses around here. We don't know how many girls are in other abandoned houses. We need to start going to these motherfuckers, changing the locks and making them our house. The landlords don't get no fuck.
And to be honest with you guys, look at all these men standing. That's enough men right there. That's a group of men right there. All you need is 5 of them go in there and redo the whole thing if you wanted to. You know, now of course you're gonna need money or whatever, but you got a group of 5 men right there. That's enough right there for that area right there. That's enough right there. That's enough right there. That's enough right there. And see, this is one of the things that I see. Like we want to sit up and wait for the white man and somebody, the other man, or whoever man, to come through and save us. And don't get me wrong, I am not saying we do not need resources. I am not saying we do not need money. I am not saying we do not need any of those things. I am not saying that. So please do not twist my words. But what I am saying is you can start with the 5. You can start with the 5. You don't, and that's the problem. We want to start with 100,000. Now, start with what you have and go. Start walking, as the old people would say, and go with the goers. Start walking and go with the goers. Start walking and go with the goers. More and more people who care, who are like-minded, who want to do something and make a difference will join. Go with the goers. Don't wait on somebody to come be Captain Saver. Don't wait on the white man. Go with the goers. Because I'm going to tell you right now, he's saying we need this, we need that. Had he put up, a GoFundMe or something like that, I would have donated. I still would if he decides to. I'll donate. I sure will. I sure will. And I don't even stay in Chicago. I'm not in Chicago. I'm in Texas. But I would donate if he's really truthfully wanting to fix up these areas and he can go and get the paperwork right and the paperwork together and all this kind of stuff. I don't mind donating. Because when it comes to activism and stuff like that, I am blessed to be able to donate with resources, with money and other resources. I don't have to, which I'm going to make another video when it comes to women out here in some of these rallies and protests and stuff like that, getting their heads knocked off. I do not recommend. There are many other ways that women can be and help, if you want to be in activism. There are many ways you can do that. Many ways. There are many ways, because I think that when women who do that, they tap into that masculinity, then it becomes a double sword that is used and weaponized against you by people who look just like you, calling you masculine. They calling you masculine, but you're being masculine because you out here walking the same path that they walk on a basis. You out here just as black as they are. You out here just, getting killed just as much as they are. You out here with the stresses and everything else that go with life just as much as they are. Obviously in a different way, right? Because we all deal with things in a different way, but just as much. But yet and still, you're still being called masculine. So I do not suggest any woman be out here on the front lines in no protest or none of that. Now, if you want to do that, you go right ahead. If you want to, open yourself up to be getting your head knocked off, your eyes blown out, your teeth busted out, and then the very people who do it, the dudes that you out here protecting, they gonna just sit back and look at you like, oh man, that's messed up. They not gonna do nothing. They not gonna go defend you. I have not seen that one time. Hell, they haven't even went and defended Trayvon Martin's murderer who's out here walking these streets. A child. He was a child. And this man is out here walking these streets. So I would not suggest any woman, if anything is going to get done as it relates to activism and being on the front lines, we need to be feminine, rest in our femininity, be just like some of their wives and their girlfriends. Because I can tell you right now, Martin Luther King, you know what? Baby, his wife didn't get her head knocked off, her teeth knocked out, her eyes blacked. She didn't get bit by a dog or beat down with a billy club. Uh, who did I say? Malcolm X. Um, MLK. His wife didn't get beat down. Our beloved and I respect very well, Minister Farrakhan. His wife ain't never out here, ain't never got out here and got beat down with a billy club, knocked over the head, drug, whatever. None of that has ever happened. Even right now, let's fast forward. Even your Dr. Clyde Andersons, the list goes on. Even right now, some of the leaders right now, the so-called black leaders right now, their wives are not out here getting their head kicked in, getting their face kicked in, their teeth knocked out. That's not taking place. What they are doing is they're allowing their men to be men and to protect them and their children as they should. They are allowing men to be men. Now, do they help, organize? Yes. Do they help in other ways that are very valuable? Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. These women helped in other ways. And as a black woman, if you don't want to, now, if you want to get your head kicked in and stumped in, you want to go out here and rack up all kind of criminal cases against you, go right on ahead. I'm not going to stop you, and I'm not going to convince you not to, because if that's what you want to do, go do it. But what I will say is you can be doing that and at the same time turn around, and the minute you don't line up with somebody, they're going to be calling you masculine. And then they're going to use that to prove how masculine you are. And to be quite honest, it shouldn't even have to be that. It should just be, you know what? I'm gonna rest in my femininity. I'm going to take care of, the organizing part of it. I'm going to, build behind the scenes, which is what many of us did back then. And I'm going to be a help meet that way, as opposed to being out there on the front line. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen women put themselves out there, and for life, they are just messed up for life. For life. Mentally, I just got through watching a video of the lady who was at the George Floyd protest. And she got hit with one of those rubber bullets from the cops. And you guys, the bullet, like it, you guys, her face that's all I'm gonna say. Her face, it messed up her face. That's all I'm gonna say. It took out her eye, messed up her face, and you know what they did? They drug her to the car and took her to the hospital. And the people who were responsible for doing that to her, nothing happened to them. Nobody defended her, even though she was out there fighting on behalf of a man who looks like her, along other side men who look like her. No one defended her. And that's the chance that, if that's what you want to do, that's the chance you got to be willing to take. And I myself, at one point, took that chance. I've been to protests before. I have. And thank God none of that happened. Of course, I wouldn't go to anything like any of the sort unless I'm with someone or people who I know will protect me if it came down to it. Family members or friends, who ain't gonna let nothing happen to me physically, who will put their life on the line for me to defend me. I'm not leaving my house unless something like that is in place. That's just me, though. That's just me. And that was when I was younger. Now that I'm a little older, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not. Because I don't think that honestly, I don't think that is, like I said, you tap more into your masculine, and then you find yourself always fighting with somebody in your masculine. You always snapping on somebody because you it's a constant battle. And it's just, to me, it's like, no.
Stop playing. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk. I am dead serious. I want to fix up all these abandoned homes. I need y'all help to help me do that. Stop saying you motherfuckers 11-9 crazy and y'all don't want to help fix this motherfucking neighborhood up. Y'all motherfuckers screaming all that 11-9 shit. Man, we got motherfuckers putting kids and babies and people in abandoned houses around here. Y'all got to be crazy. All we got to do is fix the fucking house up and go talk to the bank. That's all we got to do. It don't take that much money for us to fix these motherfuckers up. But guess what? It's going to be a little girl in there next time. And guess what? A motherfucker like D-Ice ain't going to be walking past.
Now, what he just said to me gives me chills. Gives me chills. He said that the next time, this is sad. The fact that it could possibly even be a next time is sad. But he said the next time is not going to be him walking past. The next time it could be a little girl in there chained up. That sent chills down my spine, because it's like, oh, just the thought of it. It shouldn't be a next time. It shouldn't. And thank God for this man. Thank God for this man. Thank God for this man. Absolutely. He did the absolute right thing. And if it had not been for him, there ain't no telling, what could happen to that young girl. Because there's no telling what has already happened to her. But I mean, it could be worse, as in she could no longer be with us. So please don't get it twisted that I'm critiquing this man and his efforts to, his efforts in what he's done already in saving this girl, or his efforts to want and to fix up the homes and areas in that neighborhood. I'm not critiquing that. I'm just using this situation to point out all the different situations that go all over as it relates to Black people, and giving different perspectives and things that we should be thinking about as a community. This is an older man too. This is an older man. I really hope that some of the younger men are encouraged by this man and what he's done. I truly do, because I know that too many times there is, in our culture, there can be the, no snitching type of thing, or, I'm just gonna mind my business, and kind of, that thing can be as well. And I just hope that, when it comes to anybody committing a heinous crime, anybody, out here doing degenerate things to boys, women, children, and anybody in between, men, I would hope that you would have people who will stand up for you as well and help you if you were ever in this type of situation, or any one of us. Because again, we have to leave our house sometime. I know I do. I go to work. I have a business that I run. I go to the post office. I go to Walmart and Target. I go to Whole Foods and other places. Many times I'm by myself. And, anybody could get knocked over the head and drug into a van. Anybody. That could happen to anybody. So this is why this hits home for me, because I know that Black women and children are targeted the most. We are the most vulnerable in the community. The most. We are the most targeted. We are the most watched and preyed upon.
Come on, y'all. This the motherfucking straw that broke the camel's back right here. I promise y'all. They need to be scared. We need to go all these abandons though. That's scary right there. Gee. That's scary, G. If he'll do right, he'll do that to that. He'll do that to one of our babies.
That's why he did it to her.
If the ice ain't walking past, she's still in there. Everybody look weird. You heard it. Yeah. I'm like, I tell my man, I'm like, man, somebody in that thing. He just said he just came right this way and turned back around and went that way, never came past. But now he's walking past again. Nah. Man, we need to start whooping every motherfucker who ain't around here, man. Moving all motherfuckers from around here. Yeah. Huh?
Now I have to make this disclaimer. I do not, suggest any type of violence of any kind. What I do suggest, though, is that you protect yourself by all means necessary, and you protect yourself by all means necessary, whatever that may mean to you. I know what it means for me because if anybody try anything with me, I do have 2 firearms that are, they're legal. I have a handgun license. I have all of that. And I have more other things too. And that's how I would protect myself. But you guys protect yourself however you need to. And whatever that means to you, that's what you do. So for him, I guess protecting himself means whooping asses that don't belong around that area. I think I agree with him. Okay, that is a form of protection, and I don't consider that a form of violence. And I just want to point that out because I don't want people to try to act like, oh, you're promoting violence. No, I'm not. I'm not promoting violence. I'm promoting protection, protecting yourself by any means necessary. I will say that again, protecting yourself, your family, your children, your significant other by any means necessary. Whatever that means to you, protect yourself. And that's exactly what I would say that he's talking about. Protecting the neighborhood, protecting the women and children in his neighborhood, whooping asses.
Somebody kidnapped a little dark-skinned girl, had her chained up and handcuffed in the crib. Yeah. Yeah. Some motherfucker been in there. He kidnapped her and chained up, had her handcuffed. She beating on the window. I just happened to be walking past. Right time, huh?
Yes, he did.
No. You want to know what happened? I didn't keep down Stewart. No. I came up Eggleston. You didn't know what time the bus was. Because I didn't know what time the bus was coming. No. And if I don't walk up the block, she's still in there.
I know what he did.
She in the ambulance. But what if the next child is a 3-year-old? Or what if the next time the child is a 4-year-old? It's too many abandoned houses around here for these pervert ass niggas to put kids in. We need to go take every abandoned house. We don't know who's in the abandoned houses. All these abandoned houses. It's too many abandoned houses around here. The landlords don't get no fuck. They just let the property sit. She gonna be able to identify who dude is. Police got the motherfucker.
And let me tell you what's most likely happening with the property in that area. It's not so much the landlord. What is probably happening is that the banks own a lot of those properties, and the banks have enough money to let them sit for years while they also pay the taxes on them. The average person does not have the money to allow a home to sit and rot because they're losing they're losing out on their investment, right? They're losing out on just allowing the home or property to sit and rot. So what typically happens is a lot of these properties will go into foreclosure, and then the banks will come in and buy the property for a little bit of nothing, and then the banks will just sit on it and pay the property taxes. That's all they do. And I'm a homeowner. I can tell you right now, I on any given day would rather pay, eight, 10, $12,000 in property taxes than to pay, more than that for 30 years on a mortgage. Because you're paying your mortgage plus you got to pay those property taxes as well. So if all you have to do is pay property taxes, I'll take that any day. Any day. So that's probably what's going on. It's not so much a landlord, it's probably the banks who have bought these properties for little to nothing, and they're just sitting on them waiting, for that area to probably be gentrified, or waiting on, the right buyers to come along and buy the property, which would probably mean they're going to bulldoze it down and put up, a lot of times put up a liquor store or a nail shop or a hair shop or something like that. Once they start gentrifying the area, they'll bulldozer it down along with many of the other properties in the area, or fix them up, and they'll put yoga studios over there and Whole Foods and all these other places. So you typically know how an area is going to be, or whether or not the area would be gentrified by what's in the area. Because I can tell you right now, Black people overwhelmingly are not putting up yoga studios in our areas. We're just going to be honest, we're not. So when you see a yoga studio, you can bet your top dollar that 9 times out of 10 you are probably about to be gentrified. When you see a Whole Foods do not put their stores in the hood. They do not do that. Whole Foods go to areas that can afford, where the people can afford to purchase the food. Those are signs that you are probably, or that area is probably about to be gentrified. I just wanted to say that. I'm about to go ahead and end because I've already been on here an hour. I will post the link to this video to the Facebook page or whatever that this man posted it on, if you want to check out the entire video. But I think on that note, I am going to end this video because, again, I don't want it to be no more than an hour, and we're close to being an hour. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys know I love you. I do appreciate you. And until next time, peace.
Say it's a black thing, run deep in the roots. Blacker the berry, baby, the sweeter the juice. I'm trying to get lost, covered in all of your sauce. They say black no